Hello everybody, my name's Seth from Seth Baccus Guitars, and I'd like to wish you all a warm welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video we're going to be talking about the Nautilus Classic model. I'm going to be running through a couple of examples of the instruments with you, some of the materials used, and talking about the ethos behind the design work. And I'm very much looking forward to sharing it with you, so thanks for watching. So let's have a bit of a run through of the Nautilus Classic. I've got an example here that I've borrowed from my friend Tim Mills, who you might know from Bare Knuckle Pickups. And the Nautilus Classic is my kind of flagship model. It's how I really launched the brand Seth Baccus Guitars. And the idea was to build the single cutaway guitar that I could never find. I took a lot of influence from the late 50s kind of classic single cutaway guitars and updated them and changed a few of the specifications to meet my needs as a player, in the hope that other players would identify with it as well. Over the last 10 years, the range has sort of developed a little bit, and it was originally conceived as a 25.5-inch scale length guitar. And the reasoning behind that being that I learned how to play on Fender style guitars, and I always wanted a single cut that would nail the kind of power and sustain that you want from a single cutaway guitar, but felt natural for me to play as a Fender style player. So in its original inception, the Nautilus is 25.5-inch scale length, but built in the Gibson style construction method. So we've got a set neck, glued carved maple top, and Honduras mahogany body and neck also. What the combination of these materials bring us is pretty tried and tested over the years. You know, we know mahogany is going to give a very rich, warm sound with a lot of natural sustain to it. The maple cap on the top dulls out the mids a little bit from the mahogany, and it adds a little bit of top end, gives us a bit more clarity. In this particular instrument at the 25.5-inch scale length, the difference that makes to the tone, I think, is that you get more kind of snap in the trebles, but we also get a tighter bass response. It's a little bit more kind of responsive, I think, particularly for faster picking and that more contemporary styles of playing. But that, you know, the scale lengths are very much a personal choice, and I have other Nautilus models in the more traditional 24 and 3/4 scale length, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. This year being the 10th anniversary of Seth Baccus Guitars, I'm doing a very limited run of Nautilus Classics, which are essentially going to be based on a Nautilus 59, and we're going to be doing some full depth mahogany bodies with Brazilian rosewood fingerboards and you know, all the trimmings. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. So with this this particular Nautilus Classic, you can see that it's a sort of very traditional kind of faded out 50s type sunburst, and we've got this, you know, really beautiful figured maple top, which is carved with a sort of very vintage style, almost violin type carve. We've also got a pair of humbuckers here, Bare Knuckle Pickups. We've got a Stormy Monday neck pickup and a Riff Raff bridge pickup. The Stormy Monday neck pickup is a very smooth, warm, kind of bluesy type tone, and the Riff Raff is slightly hotter, a little bit more bite in the treble there, but still kind of in the vintage voiced area. One of the sort of signature things about a single cutaway double humbucking guitar is the 4 controls. So we have 2 volumes and 2 tone controls, so we can have completely independent control over the pickups, and obviously the 3-way switch here. On this guitar we also have the coil taps, so I've got push pots on both the tone controls, which independently coil split the humbuckers and will give you the single coil sound. One of my favourite sounds actually is if on a cleaner sound, if you have both coil taps up and the selector switch in the middle position, It's a really hollow, almost acoustic type tone. It's really quite amazing, actually. And on the headstock, we've got the ebony head veneer, and as standard, the Goto 510 machine heads, which I think are just the best tuners out there, really. And as per standard, each Nautilus model comes with the Nautilus custom truss rod cover there too. We've also got the cream binding, very traditional style. We've got the cream binding around the body here, cream bound fingerboard. I think it just completes the look of this style of instrument. I think that when we're talking about an instrument of this kind of quality, and we're really talking about trying to forge a special relationship between the player and the instrument. It becomes part of your musical voice, and it can, a real nice instrument that someone gels with can really influence their playing and will influence the music that they write. That's something I find really special and really inspiring for me as a maker. I think when we're talking about the disposable culture and built-in obsolescence in a lot of our technology, this is the antithesis of that. We're building things to last that aren't going to break, and if they do break, they're very repairable. And hopefully building something that will not only outlive me, but hopefully be passed down the generations and continue its story as an influential musical instrument. So we'll just finish up with a big thank you again for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it's been interesting. It's just a small slice of what's possible and what's available. So if you have any questions, or you're interested in discussing a custom build or anything like that, please feel free to get in contact with me. And please do have a look at the website. There's a whole list of specifications, guide prices, some basic options available there. But as I say, if you have any further questions, please feel free to get in touch. And thanks again for watching.